McGraw, and I'm going to be going over how to set up a classroom in Google Classroom. We'll go over the general settings for all of your classes, as well as the individual settings for each specific class. So let's get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do when creating your own Google Classroom is you're going to go up to your Windows dots for your apps, click on it, and go to Classroom. Once you're in Classroom, you're going to make sure that you're on your main classes page. To do that, typically it's going to take you right into this page, but to make sure, you go over to your little hamburger and you click on classes and it'll take you right there. Now I have several Google Classrooms, but this may be your first, so this page could be blank for you. To create a classroom, you go up to your plus sign, then you're going to hit Create Class. Then you're going to type in your class name. So we're going to just call this Demo for my purposes. And then you'd add a section, subject, and room if you so desire. But all you're required to have is the name. Once you've done that, you're going to click Create. And it just takes a minute or two or a second or two here, and it'll have your classroom created. So now we are on our main class page. And you can see up at the top you have Stream, Classwork, People, and Grades. So these are your different tabs for working within Google Classroom. So the first thing I want to show you is we're going to come over here to where it says Demo, and that's our class name and the little hamburger. And we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom to where it says Settings. And I'm sorry you cannot see that on your end, but it's the last tab all the way down with the little gear symbol, and it says Settings, and you're going to click on that. And it takes you to this page. So in this page, you're going to have your notifications, and this is for all of your Google Classrooms, not just a specific one. So these are going to be your notifications for all of your Google Classrooms. So I do want to receive notifications, so I have that tabbed on, but then it gives you the parameters to be able to adjust your notifications down here. So I don't like to receive comments on posts, and I don't like to receive notifications for comments that mention me, because I'm going to go in and check those things, so I don't want to receive an email notification for those. What I do want is private comments on work. I want to receive notifications for those. The reason being is if the student is working on an assignment and they have a question or a comment on that particular assignment, they can put a comment in there and it'll send me an email notification, and I can respond right out of my email to them. So I like to have that setting turned on. And then I come down here and it says the classes you are enrolled in. I want to receive all notifications from classes that I'm enrolled in. So I have those turned on. And then down here is classes that you teach. I have those all turned off. And the reason being is if I have them turned on, my email is flooded. I have 130 some students depending on the year, sometimes 150. And I don't like to receive every single notification in my email because it clogs it up. So I check my Google Classroom regularly to check for late work, resubmissions, and such, so that I don't have to worry about those notifications. When you create an assignment and you go in to grade it, it'll tell you if that assignment was turned in late. It'll say underneath their student's name if it was late or if it was resubmitted. It'll tell you, so you know what it is. So you don't need to receive a notification necessarily for that unless you really want to. But if you do, this is where you would set those settings. Down here is where you select which classes you want to receive notifications for with the parameters that you've set up above. So that is your class settings. Then we're going to go back to our main class. And then we're going to go to our class settings up here for the gear. So you click on that, and it takes you into your class settings. So this is for your individual classes. So you can come in here and you can adjust your class details, your name, put in a description if you like. You can do all of that here, and you can change those anytime. Then we have our general settings. And so in our general settings, this is where our class code is, our stream. So I like to be the only one that posts or comments on my stream. I've found that I do teach middle school, so I need to put that disclaimer out there. But I found that students aren't the most responsible when they put posts or comments in the stream. So I make that so that only I can do that, and that way it doesn't clog it up. There is a question feature in Google Classroom that will allow you to have class discussions in Google Classroom. And so that would be the most appropriate place to allow students to post and make comments. Here is your classwork on the stream. I hide classwork on my stream. And the reason why I hide the classwork on my stream is so that only my announcements show up there. And the classwork shows up under the classwork tab. That way, if you have classwork show up in your stream, it just gets cluttered up and it becomes messy. And you can reorder them a little bit, but it's still, everything gets bogged down and cluttered within that stream. I like to keep my stream clean with just my announcements, and then I train my students, if they're looking for an assignment, to go to their classwork tab to find it. The next thing is I have this turned off. I don't want students to see my deleted items, so I just keep that turned off. This one here is for your Guardian Summaries, and Guardian Summaries are notifications that parents can receive. You can send them an invitation, they accept it, they set their notification schedule, whether it's daily, weekly, or monthly, and they will receive auto-generated notifications from Google Classroom with their students' work. And they only see their students' work. They're not part of Google Classroom, but they just see a summary of what the student is doing, what they've had assigned to them, what they've turned in, and what is outstanding or missing. So I have that turned on, and I'll show you how that works and how to invite in another video. Down here is Google Meet, and if you're using Google Meet, this is where you can generate a link. So this is really simple. You can generate your link here. You can turn that on, it creates a link. You can make it visible to students or not, and it will show up on your main Google Classroom page. If you want to keep that link, but you don't want students to be able to see it, you can flag it off. But if you have Google Meet on and you're using Google Meet, the students can only go in there if you have it turned on and if you are in there. They can't just go, even though the link is there, they just can't go into Google Meet anytime they want to. It's only if you have opened up the classroom for them to join it. But what's cool about it is it creates this link, and you don't have to send them a new link every single time you are creating or having an online session. So it just creates this link. If you want to change the link, you can change it right here by hitting reset, and it'll create a new link for it. If you want to make it visible to students, again, you can have that on there. And then when we go back to our main page, I'll show you where that is and what that looks like. But what's cool is that they know exactly where to go. They just go click on that to join you in your session. And again, you don't have to schedule it. You don't and send them notifications for it. It's just right there and they know where to go. So the next part here is grading. And so this is where you can set your overall grade calculation if you want to. I have it set it by weighted. I weight my categories, but you can also do total points, or you can have no overall grade. I recommend that if you're going to use the grading system that you set it to one of these two categories. The next part is, do you want to show your overall grade to students? This personal preference, you don't have to. You can still have it weighted so that you can see their grades in Google Classroom, but they can't. They can still see their grades on individual assignments. They just wouldn't be able to see their overall grade. If you're going to be using the grading category, this is a really nice feature. If you are on a quarter system, I recommend that you create your Google Classrooms up for each quarter. That way you can set your weighting parameters. Google Classroom does not have it set up yet so that you can do quarters within your Google Classroom. I believe that's a feature they're working on, but it's not something that they have yet. So if you don't separate them out by different quarters and have different classrooms for different quarters, and you just use one classroom for the entire year, then this grading piece will show what their grade is for the entire year as it's added up, and that's not necessarily something you want. So if you're using the grading feature, just know that that's what would happen if you use it for the entire year, or if you want them to just be able to be accurate with your LMS system, then you will have separate classrooms for each quarter. Anyhow, so you have this flagged on so that they can see their overall grade, and then you come down here and this is where your grading categories are, and they must add up to 100%. And you can see here that I have 0% remaining. If this had been 20%, then it would say I needed 10% more. But this is where you can put it in. What percentage do you want it to be? You can change them at any time. Once you put grades in there, it gets a little picky about you changing them. But you can change them at any time, and you can delete them. So to delete one, you just click on the delete button and it's gone. You can add another category if you like, and I'll actually put in here grammar, because I don't have tests, grammar/vocabulary, and this would be 20%, and then I have AR, so then I would put in AR at 10% of their grade. And then this shows how that looks. So this is just kind of your categories and how you set up your gradebook. This is where you would put them. And then you come up here and you hit save. And then it takes you back to your main page. And on this page, this is where you can see the class code. So you can display that if you want, and then students can join your class, so you don't have to invite them all. You just have them all join using that code. This is where your Google Meet link is, and you can see the link is here, and the only way for students to be able to join, even though the link is there, is if you join it first. So this is where they would go, and it's simple and easy to find. That's all I have for you today on getting your classroom set up and adjusting your settings. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel down below, like and share with others, and thank you for watching.